Am I wrong for uninviting a friend because she doesn't approve of the gift I made for my BF? I am not the oop. Oop is you, Highway Early 7757. Am I wrong for uninviting a friend because she doesn't approve of the gift I made for my BF? Originally posted to R. Amy Wrong. Trigger warning. Mentions of major surgery and ongoing medical issues. Emotional manipulation. Less than. Original post October 18, 2023. I'll keep this as short as I can. At the end of the month, it's my boyfriend's M30 birthday. I, F27, planned a dinner with some friends to celebrate. I'm a very artistic person and have decided to sculpt him a realistic heart as his birthday present. For some context, my BF spent most of his 20s in hospital. He was extremely sick and had to have open heart surgery. Thankfully, he's doing much better now, but I understand that this was a major part of his life and that's why I want to incorporate it into his present. A few days ago, I told this to a mutual friend I will call Claudia. I could tell she wasn't a fan of the idea straight away. After some coaxing, Claudia said that it's insensitive to bring up his heart issues on his birthday. I think it's actually a good thing to do because I'm showing him that no matter what he may face, I love him. The sculpture also has a deeper meaning of me not just giving him a literal sculpture of a heart, but a metaphor for me giving him my heart. Claudia thinks that because I didn't know my BF while he was going through this and she did, that she has a better understanding of what my BF will think of the present. Obviously I disagree. We were going around in circles. Both of us were getting frustrated and she wasn't budging on her stance, so eventually I said it's probably not a good idea for her to attend the dinner. I don't want her negative opinion on my gift to ruin the mood of the dinner or upset my BF. Claudia was in shock and had some choice words but left after that. My BF brought it up today that Claudia said she isn't allowed to go to his birthday dinner and that when he asked why, she told him to ask me. Obviously I didn't tell him because that would spoil the surprise of what his present is, and so I tried to downplay it. I know this will all come out eventually and that I will have to face Claudia again at some point. Probably in front of our friends. So before that confrontation happens I want to know, am I wrong? Relevant comments. Comfortable most 412. What does your BF think about Claudia not being at his birthday dinner? Oop replied. He was disappointed and curious as to why she's not going. Then when I refused to expand further on it, he got concerned that something serious went on between us. Ramen Noodles 620. You are wrong for uninviting her. You had to coax her into saying how she felt. Based on that, it seems like she could have kept her comments and feelings to herself for the party. By uninviting her, you have now added negativity to the party anyway, since now your BF is left wondering what happened. Oop replied. Okay, you're right. I guess I went too far by uninviting her. I'll text her and re-invite her to the dinner. Update October 19th. 2023. Okay, I have apologized to Claudia over the phone and re-invited her to the dinner. I think I let my own insecurities overshadow the disagreement and that's why I opted to uninvite her. A bad decision on my behalf. I know. She accepted the invite and apology. Claudia asked again about the present and I told her it's not something for her to worry about. Which I think is a fair statement to make. As many of you suggested, I also went into more detail and told my BF that Claudia and I argued over his birthday present. I didn't tell him what it was exactly but told him Claudia didn't think it was a good present. I disagreed and about the argument that followed. He was very understanding but wants to know more. Obviously I can't tell him too much because that would ruin the surprise of what the present is. Also, a few of you thought I was going to give him the heart sculpture during the dinner, which I was never going to do. I'm planning on giving it to him beforehand, but I know it will be brought up during the dinner and I feared that it being a topic of conversation would give Claudia the opportunity to voice her opinion on it. Afterwards, I asked my BF what he thought of a present which revolved around his health. He's very good-humored and asked if I was searching the black market for a new heart for him lol. He is apprehensive about it, but I think that's because he's scared I'm going to sign him up to some fitness regime or book him a scan for his birthday. I'm still going ahead with my sculpture as I think I will be a nice surprise as well as my original reasoning. Relevant comments. Not so religious now. You're 100% insane for giving such a tacky gift. His reaction alone screams that he's uncomfortable with the idea. Stop. You're going to implode your own relationship with this horrid idea for a gift. Get him concert tickets and burn that tacky sculpture that literally means nothing good to anyone. But you, Team Claudia, Oop replied. The reason I've decided to make a handmade gift is so I could avoid giving him a tacky gift. I'm going to have a long talk with him about it before I give him the gift, and I will also get him another present too. Although I do think the team comment is unnecessary and dare I say, tacky. Update the 2nd of October 24, 2023. A few people wanted me to update after my BF's birthday, so here. As many of you left some nasty, although well-deserved in some cases, I'll admit, comments. I was pretty upset in the days leading up to his birthday. My BF saw how upset I was, and so I explained the entire situation to him. I told him about the sculpture, the full extent of my argument with Claudia, and I even showed him my post on here. He was quiet while I was showing him your comments, but he was never angry at me or anything like that. He was neutral until he knew everything. Afterwards, I gave him the sculpture. He took a lot of time looking at it, and I explained the meaning behind it so he would understand that my intentions were pure. He did joke that I could have shown him that I love him by buying him a PlayStation 5 instead of sculpting a realistic heart lol, but he was actually very appreciative of the amount of work and effort I put into it. He wasn't exactly thrilled with it, but he was very complimentary, so I'll take that as a win. I should mention that this all happened the day before his birthday, so no, I did not bring the sculpture to his birthday dinner and unveil it there like many of you presumed. Just a note, I never said I was going to do that. Also, I got him AirPods too, so the sculpture wasn't the only gift he got from me. The dinner went off without a hitch. On our way over to the restaurant, my BF asked if I was going to apologize to Claudia in person, which I did immediately upon arriving. She was fine with it and made no issue, and said she was actually glad that I felt as though I could tell her about the sculpture in the first place. A lot of you accused me of having a problem with Claudia, and after some reflecting, I do think I am insecure about certain aspects of her friendship with my BF. This is something I'll work on going forward. The sculpture was not mentioned at the dinner, nor did I bring it up. At the end, Claudia and my BF walked out together to presumably talk about it. I walked out with some others because I'm not actually a controlling or horrible GF and have no problem giving them their space. Before we left, they hugged and he thanked her. Before you start, he thanked everyone for attending, so this wasn't out of the ordinary. And we both went to the cinema together. Happy ending. And just to add, I will be taking on a lot of your feedback in my previous 2 posts, and I will be trying to better myself and be more considerate in the future. Relevant comments. Little Martha 31204. Over 3 posts now. You've shown a lack of emotional intelligence. I'm sorry, but I don't think anyone trusts your read on this. Since you've given him the gift, what did he do with it? Did he brag about it to his friends and family? Is it displayed prominently where everyone can see it? Has he mentioned to you how much he loves it? Not exactly thrilled with it is how I would describe someone receiving socks on Christmas morning. If that's the reaction you were aiming for, Then great. But I guess that it's not because of the way you worded everything. Oop replied. I'm presuming he didn't mention it at the dinner in case things got awkward, and I think he preferred to smooth things out with Claudia first, and yes, it's currently in his hallway for anyone who enters to see. Mudra 311. You seem fairly self-aware and willing to change. It's going to require demonstrating action though. I totally get where you're coming from. You feel like an outsider and everyone is in on some inside joke. I don't think you're wrong for feeling insecure. You might want to talk to a professional to work through those feelings because they are not stemming from your BF. They are coming from some more deep-seated desire within yourself to always be a part of something. Assuming y'all stay together long-term, you have so much opportunity to make your own memories together. I would sit down with your BF and talk with him openly about what he wants in the relationship and such. You can also explain where you're coming from. The goal of that convo being a clear view of where the road is taking both of you. Oop replied. I think you're completely right. I think when initially meeting his friends, I felt a bit like an outsider. Especially with his history with Claudia. I know I probably sound unhinged from my last 2 posts, but I promise I am normally a sane human. Still, I appreciate your advice. This is a repost sub IAM, not the oop. I didn't know my BF while he was going through this, and she did. That she has a better understanding of what my BF will think of the present. I said it's probably not a good idea for her to attend the dinner. I don't want her negative opinion on my gift to ruin the mood of the dinner or upset my BF. He was neutral until he knew everything. Afterwards, I gave him the sculpture. He took a lot of time looking at it, and I explained the meaning behind it so he would understand that my intentions were pure. He wasn't exactly thrilled with it. And then for the finale. So I'll take that as a win. Are you fucking kidding me? I know I probably sound unhinged from my last 2 posts, but I promise I am normally a sane human. I'm a very artistic person and have decided to sculpt him a realistic heart as his birthday present. The sculpture also has a deeper meaning of me not just giving him a literal sculpture of a heart, but a metaphor for me giving him my heart. Sometimes you read a post that makes you want to study OOP's brain under a microscope. As someone who has a heart condition and has had open heart surgery and had it touch upon my life since childhood, this gift is really weird. Like I could understand a genuine gesture from a family member who stood by me throughout the whole ordeal, because then it would have been a shared aspect of our lives. My mom has given me gifts of this nature and they've been heartfelt and meaningful. But GF was not reportedly with BF during his heart surgery. For her to take this time to make this as art and turn it into a gift and gesture seems performative. Despite my health troubles, I try very hard to let it not affect me. And if someone who entered into my life recently gave me an anatomically accurate sculpture of a heart for my birthday, I'd be bemused at best but really confused and possibly frustrated by the intent at worst. You wouldn't give a blind person a model of an eyeball, or a cancer patient a tumor papier-mâché. But I think what is most damning about GF's behavior and response is her reaction to the friend and calling the BF's tepid reaction to the gift a win. Fundamentally, if you ever want to do something for someone who is actively going through life-altering health troubles or has in the past, the best thing you can do to aid that person is provide a sense of normalcy. I will never ever forget being released from the ICU at 5 years old and having my aunt swoop in with a sub sandwich she brought for me. The nurses weren't certain, but I was absolutely ravenous after only having had hospital food for like 10 days. She doesn't remember, but it wasn't some grand gesture. She literally picked it up in grocery store on the way over to visit after my mom had mentioned off-handedly I didn't like the hospital food. The BF saying she could have just gotten him a PS5 is so telling. My guy just wants to live his life and enjoy the time he's got. Open heart surgery isn't a death sentence, but it is one of those events when you're young that provides a little perspective on life. And his GF has misunderstood that entirely. She made his birthday and his gift an event for her to show off and insert herself into a time of his life he'd more than likely just move on from. Even after reading this, I kind of feel like Op still doesn't really get it and lacks self-awareness. The way she types comes off pretty full of herself. Claudia really seems to be the only sane person and trying to give some advice, but Op really just dragged the whole situation down upon herself and made it all about her. Even the BF got the gift. It doesn't really seem he fully appreciates the gift at all. I won't be surprised if this relationship doesn't last. I feel like I'm missing something here. A realistic heart is already a kind of strange present unless the person who it's for is into the macabre or body science. But why did she make it for her BF? She says the idea is metaphorically giving him her heart, but did she choose that because he had heart surgery? Is she attempting to insert herself into a time she had no part in? If she thinks a heart may possibly be a sore spot with her BF, why choose it at all? I just feel like even though they explained it, I still don't understand what's going on in OOP's head. So he wasn't exactly thrilled with it, but he complimented her. So that was a win. Translation: the present really had nothing to do with BF and what he might want. It was a chance for her to show off her sculpting skill. This reads like Oop is a teenager. Or young adult. Like 16, 17. He wasn't thrilled about it. But he was complimentary. So I'll take that as a win. Sweetie pie. Bless your heart. BF was being complimentary because he didn't want to hurt your feelings. Props to Claudia for being extended mature about the situation. Dunno, maybe it's just me, but if someone gifted me a gift that reminded me of a dark time in my life, I'd be weirded out and I genuinely wouldn't be happy. Ha. I commented on the U posts. It really infuriated me how she painted herself as a victim when she was the one who initiated, escalated, and then nucleared the whole situation. All for that damn Tondeef gift. However she may perceive it, the BF is not happy with any of this. She seemed more obsessed with expressing herself artistically through that present than wanting to make her boyfriend happy with it. Probably wanted pats on her back for how meaningful and thoughtful her gift was. Who even is okay with a neutral reaction from a partner they claim to love? And not be at least a little, "Oh, I do wish he liked it more," about it? Especially when it's clear BF just didn't want to hurt her feelings and belittle her efforts. Hope he at least realizes from this that Claudia knows his heart. Pun intended. Better than his GF. Oh, this post, yeah. I've said it before. She should have gone with the PS5. Nothing says, "I love you," like buying a gamer a gaming console. OOP's wording just reeks of someone who knows the right token words to say when they're called out for this kind of thing, but gains nothing but a grudge from criticism. Also, though it's hardly a one-to-one comparison, I had some major mental health crises when I was in high school. If someone I didn't know until well after tried to relate to me on that, IDK how I'd react. But it wouldn't be positive. I feel like artistic catharsis like that should really come from within. It feels IDK invasive for someone else to do it for you, especially when they weren't even there. Also a bit self-centered. Like, this is how you should feel about your suffering. The one post where I actually like the idea of a gift that's made rather than bought, and it's the one where everyone thinks it's terrible. I'd love that gift if I had had heart issues. I guess my version would be a brain with a crack or something. But I think just a heart would be less interesting than it could be. I'd want a heart with the exact issue I had clearly shown. Oh yes. My boyfriend has heart issues, so I will make a realistic heart so it is always in his face. Wait, why is everyone upset? It's great. The oop. I know there are some people who would find this great or funny. But oop didn't specify if he would like this. And given Claudia's response, as well as the boyfriend's, it sounds like a no. Also, I don't think the average person would appreciate a realistic heart, especially those that are squeamish. Nothing wrong with that. If anything, getting a gift like that is worse for them. Reception seems juiced, a little lukewarm, loudly crying. She didn't make it for him. That's clear. She made it to show off her artistic talent. She's even okay with his lukewarm reaction, because he praised her efforts. It just makes me sad. Oops still doesn't get it. Is she socially inept? Could this birthday be any more about her? Her present sucked. It sucks. BF was trying to save face to appease her, and the clues are so obvious, but she is so blind that even Jesus can't heal her. I hope we get another update where it includes that sculpture gets incinerated and boyfriend dumps her. This was a lot of unnecessary drama caused by oop and surrounding the person whose party it was. Like this has, I'm going to give an impromptu speech at your wedding reception. And also my teeth are whiter. Kind of vibe. Just tactless and unwilling to take feedback after asking for it. If my boyfriend sculpted me a spine as a gift that would constantly remind me of my chronic pain, I think I'd give him the meanest stare possible for the rest of the year. Everyone I know who is dealing with chronic health issues just wants one thing: forget about these issues. Not be reminded of them. Feel normal. Be treated normally. I think that gift is horrific. ETA. Not to mention how insane it was of her to uninvite a mutual friend. One that the boyfriend knows longer than the girlfriend. Because of a disagreement on a birthday gift. Claudia's already got a sledgehammer waiting for the post-breakup heart-smashing party.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.